Once upon a time, in a cozy little corner of the world, lived a mother pig with her 3 adorable little sons. As they grew bigger and stronger, the day came when their mother knew it was time for them to go out and build their own lives. With a loving hug and a basket packed with goodies, she sent them off into the wide world, reminding them to always do their best, because that's the way to get along in the world. The first little pig was full of excitement and couldn't wait to start playing. He wanted to build his house as quickly as possible. As he trotted down the road, he met a man carrying a bundle of straw. "Please, sir," he said politely, "could you sell me some of that straw to build my house?" The man agreed, and the little pig quickly built himself a house of straw. He finished in no time and spent the rest of the day singing and dancing, proud of his speedy work. The second little pig was a bit more thoughtful, but still in a hurry. He walked a little further and saw a man with a bundle of sticks. "Excuse me," he chirped, "may I buy some of those sticks to build my house?" The man was happy to help, and the second little pig set to work. His stick house was a little stronger than the straw one, and it took him a bit longer, but he was still finished by the afternoon. He joined his brother, feeling very pleased with his new home. Now, the third little pig was the most patient and hard-working of them all. He remembered his mother's words about always doing your best. He walked a long way down the road until he met a man with a heavy load of bricks. "Good day, sir," he said. "Could I please have some of those bricks to build my house?" The man saw the determination in the little pig's eyes and gave him the bricks. Building a house of bricks was hard work. It took the third little pig a very long time. He carefully laid each brick, making sure the walls were thick and strong. While his brothers played, he worked, knowing that safety was more important than speed. Living in the nearby woods was a big, bad wolf. He had a rumbling tummy and had spotted the 3 little pigs setting up their new homes. He licked his lips and thought a tender little pig would make a wonderful dinner. He decided to visit the first little pig. He crept up to the straw house and knocked on the door. "Little pig, little pig, let me come in," he growled in his deepest voice. The first little pig peeked through a crack, saw the wolf's big pointy ears, and squealed, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." The wolf grinned wickedly. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." And, with one mighty huff and a puff, he blew the flimsy straw house all to pieces. The terrified little pig squealed and ran as fast as his little legs could carry him to his brother's house of sticks. The first little pig burst through the door of the stick house, panting and scared. The wolf. "He blew my house down," he cried. Just then there was a loud knock on the door. It was the wolf, and he was even hungrier now. little pigs, let me come in," he snarled. The 2 pigs huddled together and shouted, "Not by the hair on our chinny chin chins." The wolf let out a scary laugh. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." Huffed, and puffed, and puffed, and the house of sticks began to creak and wobble. He huffed and puffed again, and with a crash, the stick house collapsed. The two little pigs, now more frightened than ever, ran for their lives. They raced all the way to their brother's house of bricks and scrambled inside, bolting the strong wooden door behind them. The wolf. "He's coming," they shrieked, explaining how both their houses were gone. The third little pig calmly told them, "Don't worry, you are safe here." Soon they heard the heavy footsteps and the angry knock of the big bad wolf. Little pigs, let me come in," he roared, his voice shaking with frustration. All three pigs bravely shouted back, "Not by the hair on our chinchins." The wolf was furious. "Then I'll huff, and I'll blow your house in," he bellowed. He huffed and he puffed. Nothing happened. The brick house stood firm. He huffed again and he puffed with all his might, his face turning red. Still, not a single brick moved. He huffed and puffed until he was completely out of breath, but the house was just too strong. The wolf was tired, but he was also clever. He decided to try and trick the little pigs. "Little pig," he called out in a friendlier voice, "I know where there's a nice field of turnips." But the third little pig was clever too. He already knew where to find food and had planned his trips to be safe. The wolf tried again, suggesting they go to an apple orchard the next morning. The little pig agreed, but went an hour earlier, gathered his apples, and was safely back home before the wolf even arrived. The wolf was getting very, very angry. Finally, he had one last idea. He climbed onto the roof of the brick house, planning to sneak down the chimney. But the third little pig heard the scraping sounds on the roof. Thinking fast, he told his brothers to help him. They quickly placed a huge pot of water over the fire in the fireplace and made it boil. Just as the wolf squeezed himself down the chimney, he fell with a great big splash right into the pot of boiling water. With a yelp of surprise and pain, he shot back up the chimney and ran away into the woods, never to bother the three little pigs ever again. From that day on, the first two little pigs understood the value of hard work and patience. They built their own strong brick houses right next to their brothers, and the three of them lived happily and safely ever after. And the lesson they learned is one we can all remember. Whatever you do, do it as well as you can,